Hi folks, this is Donnie D. Having a kind of a easy going Thanksgiving afternoon. Had a kind of rough day at work yesterday with all that horrible, cold, windy, rainy weather that I was out in all day. So I was kind of bushed when I got home. Decided I'd kind of take it easy today and just piddle around a little bit. So I'm out here in my shop late in the afternoon, and I decided I'd make a video with a couple of tips for folks that may be new or haven't ever shot steel. Biggest tip that I have for you would be to be sure that you do get into shooting steel, because it's so much fun. If you've just been shooting paper targets and stuff like that, you don't know what you're missing. Steel is great because you get instant feedback from your shots, and that you see the impact mark on your target. You'll see the target movement, and you'll also get a nice audible ringing sound when you make your shot and make your hit. So if you've never tried it, I highly recommend it. And this target you're looking at right here, hanging on my door here from my shop, is a good way to get started. It's available at Walmart, so it's easy to find. It'll cost you about $35, $40, something in that range. It's a reactive spinning 3/8 inch AR-500 steel target. And while I'm on the subject of AR-500 steel, so that's a good way to get started. And while I'm on the subject of AR-500 steel, I recommend that if you don't have any, that go ahead and just make all of your targets when you buy them. They'll cost you more, right, much more, but they'll last forever. But go ahead and spend your money on AR-500 steel. Not that there's anything wrong with mild steel. I've got quite many of those. But here's an example, a couple of examples on why you're really better off to go with AR-500 if you can. And like I said, I've got a bunch of regular mild steel targets, but the AR-500 is definitely the better way to go. But here's an example of a 3/8, well, not quite a 3/8, it's about a little bit better than a 1/4 inch thick mild steel target that I was out shooting my 22s one day, and I had my AR-15 shooting some other stuff, and I forgot what I was doing, and I shot this at about 100 yards with my AR-15, and you can see what it did. It put a hole through it so slick that you might have thought I did it with a drill bit. Here's another example. This is my dueling tree. Now, a dueling tree is a good idea to get with a thin mild steel target, because generally people shoot them only with 22 this particular type with a 22 rimfire only. But one day I decided I'd try it from about, I don't know, 10 yards away or so with my 9mm Sig 9, and you can see how it bent my plate. Now I can straighten it out no problem, but that just gives you an example of what anything larger than 22 rimfire will do. And when I say rimfire, I mean 22 rimfire. The 17 caliber will tear this all to pieces. So, but anyway, there's just a few examples, and we'll step in here and I'll show you a couple more and give you a couple more tips of stuff that I've picked up in my short time that I've been shooting. I've only been shooting it about 3 years myself. But anyway, here's some other examples of some AR-500 steel plates. These are all 3/8 inch steel. This is a 8-inch one. This is a 10-inch, what they call a target gong, in that it has a plate, a 4-inch plate behind this 3-inch hole that gives it a little bit more of a reaction. And then behind that 8-inch is a 16-inch plate. And here's a little small 4-inch plate that I've got. Another tip is to always be sure that you mount any steel target loosely. That is, not rigidly, not bolted or screwed to a post or a board. Always mount them with a spring or mounting chains, which is what I prefer, so that they can move with the impact, or give with the impact. And always mount them, when you do mount them at a cant. As you can see how this one hangs with a slight cant from the top being out towards you to the bottom being backing away from you. And what that does, it causes the bullet to slightly deflect it when it hits downward, and it takes a lot of the impact pressure off of the target, making it last a lot longer, and it deflects the shrapnel from the bullet down and away from you. But if you do want to go with mild steel stuff, something that maybe you can make yourself, here's a couple of pretty good examples of stuff that you can have made cheaply or you can make yourself. This is another one of those 1/4 inch plates like I showed you now with the hole in it from the AR-15. you can go to a metal shop and they'll cut you 4 or 5 of these for probably 20-25 bucks, which is very inexpensive, but again, only good for 22 rimfire. And back behind it, if I can get this chain loose here, back behind this one, this is one that was virtually free except for the Manning chains I put on it. This is a 16-inch serrated farm disc. Really hard stuff, actually even harder than this, but it's still only good for rimfire, 22 rimfire. And I made it reactive by welding a plate hanging from some chains back behind the Manning hole on the disc. But again, as you can see, I accidentally shot this one day with my 308, and you see what happened. Of course, I can weld over it and fix it, but again, only good for 22 rimfire. But anyway, just a couple more little quick tips that I might have for you. It's always a good idea, since you're inevitably going to, like me, I've done it many times. Sooner or later you're going to shoot your Manning chains into, or Manning bracket or bolt or whatever it is that you've got it connected with. You're going to shoot them in two. So always keep you some extra bolts or screws, or I always keep some extra, not chain links, but quick links, if you know what a quick link is. I always keep 2 or 3 quick links, and I also keep a spool of fence wire on my truck. If I shoot my chain into 4 or 5 turns of the fence wire, will reconnect your chain back together and get you through your afternoon of shooting pretty good. And one more thing is always paint your targets, keep them painted up nice. Usually as soon as within a day or so of coming home from the range, I'll always clean up my targets, give them a nice fresh coat of paint. That will keep them from rusting. But it also makes it so that you can see your impacts much better when you're out shooting. It makes it a lot more fun. But I hope I've been helpful to I know most of you folks know all this stuff out there, done plenty of steel shooting, probably way more than I do, and probably know way more than I do about it. But this was aimed at folks that have never shot steel before, or maybe are just getting started in it. And I hope I've been helpful to you. But anyway, for now, this is Donnie D, and I'll see you later. Bye.